Good morning, guys. How is everybody? So what's up, everybody? All right, so this morning we'll talk about international flights and just about anything else. Thank you, Rosita. Same to you. Happy Sunday, everybody. So what's going on? Beautiful morning in Maryland. The sun is out. And it's autumn time, so it does get a little bit chilly at nighttime. Well, it got a little cold last night, actually. So everybody, let me know where you're watching from. If you're in Philippines or in the USA, and USA is a big country, so it could be anywhere, or Australia or England or whatever. Or Canada. Yeah. Hey, Mississippi. Hey, Tessie, good to see you. Well, besides working, there hasn't been much going on with me lately. So, so what I thought we'd talk about this morning is those international flights getting to and from the Philippines. And because I do get questions from people about, what it's like. I know that there's a fair number of people, mostly Americans, I think, that have never been to the Philippines, have never taken that flight. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So essentially what happens is, in my case, I'm here between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So I usually leave out of BWI Airport, which is fairly close. Hey, good morning, Ronald. So I leave out of BWI Airport, and I usually fly on Delta because on all my business travel, Delta seems to go where I want to go, and I like to keep my miles, my miles account with one airline, and rather than jumping to a bunch of different ones. That way I can accumulate miles faster. So I leave out of um, BWI Airport, and lately I've been going to Detroit. My next trip, I'll be coming over in November. Same thing, I'll be going to Detroit. And hey, Lena, good to see you. Hey, Vivian, good to see you. So I'll be going to Detroit, and then from Detroit I catch Korean Air as a partner airline with Delta. So I'll catch a Korean Air flight to Incheon, from Detroit to Incheon, and that's a 14-hour flight. That's a long flight. So what they do is you get on that plane. Well, and then when I arrive in Incheon, then I make a connection for the flight from Incheon to Cebu, and that's the end of the journey, and it's the opposite of that going back home. But anyway, that flight on Korean Air is a nice flight. It's long. 14 hours is a long time. But what happens is you get aboard. Now, if you're the kind of person that can sleep on an airplane, more power to you. I'm not one of those people. I can't sleep. I may nod off for a little bit, doze off, but then I wake right back up. Well, what they do is you get on board, and then they usually have some kind of, once the plane gets up to altitude, 35,000 feet or whatever, then they'll come through with a service. They'll usually bring you some towels to wipe your face and hands and everything with, and then bring you drinks and then a meal. And they kind of have this mapped out for the whole flight. Oftentimes on Korean Air, there'll be a little card on your seat that says what the food options are, and you get to choose which one, if you want chicken or fish or whatever. And so they feed you, and then they dim the lights after that, and it's time for sleeping, or for me, usually watching the screen. They have these screens that are built into the seat in front of you, and you can watch movies or whatever. I think on my way back when was I there? May? I think, yeah, last May. On the way back, I watched that Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie about the band Queen. That was a good movie. Yeah, Ronald says he flew to L.A. first on American Airlines, and then Philippine Air to Manila. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get there. As a matter of fact, when Vivian came over here, I put her on the flight. Philippine Airlines used to have direct flights from Cebu to LA, but I believe they stopped doing that now. I can't remember if they still do it or not. And I put Vivian on that flight so she wouldn't have to deal with connections and all that kind of stuff like I do. But yeah, I basically flew from Baltimore to LA on Delta, and then met her out there, and then we flew back, actually through Salt Lake City. That was a fun trip. So our Mindanao journey, Jackson to Houston, then Houston to Tokyo, then Manila. Yeah, just about all those flights from the U.S. to the Asia are about 14 hours. Hey, Cassie, I'm good. Cassie Mira, good morning. I'm good, thank you. Hey, Apple. Yeah, I know. I can't sleep on it. Apple says she can't sleep on the planes either. Yeah, I'm just one of those. I wish I could. I know some people like to put on those the mask that blocks out, black thing that max blocks out the light so that you can sleep. But that doesn't work for me. That was your first trip, huh, Ronald? Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. They stopped those direct flights from Cebu to LA. That was nice. So far I've never been to Manila, just because Korean Air has a direct flight from Incheon to Cebu, so there's no sense in going to Manila. Um, I'm told that it's rather hectic there anyway. But one of these days I'll get there just to check it off my bucket list. Hey, Filipino life. No, I'm pretty happy with Delta and Korean Air, and the price is usually right. Plus, I rack up quite a few miles to my um, Sky Miles account that way also. Yeah, I hear you, Ronald. There was no way you were going to sleep. Yeah, it's kind of you kind of get an adrenaline high, especially your first trip. You know. You kind of want to stay awake and experience everything. Yeah. Well, there's strict security just about everywhere nowadays with the airlines. Ever since 9/11, and they started all that stuff. Yeah, so I kind of like doing the Korean Air thing. I have flown on some other airlines. One one time I flew on Cathay Pacific, which I think is a Hong Kong based airlines. Um, as when I carried Vivian's ashes back to the Philippines, and Korean Air wouldn't allow me to carry the ashes on board um, in the overhead baggage. So I had to take Cathay Pacific. So that was kind of the same. It was a JetBlue flight from Baltimore to Boston, and then Boston to Hong Kong. It was a pretty long flight, also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our in and out journey says it is hectic. Yeah, I've never. Well, like I said, I've never been. Cebu is a little more laid back. It's not quite as quite as many taxi scammers and stuff like that going on. And it always helps if you have a Filipino that you're meeting to have them meet you at the airport, and then they speak the language and can negotiate with the taxi drivers and all that kind of stuff. So that definitely helps. Yeah, well, the airline, Ronald says the food sucked. Yeah, I mean, they're just those typical airline meals, they're not exactly gourmet. Uh, I really think the airlines just want you to have something to do. So if you're feeding your face, then you know. Yeah, so the food's not all that great. That's for sure. But a lot of people fly in and out of Manila, all the time. So it's a pretty busy airport, from what I understand. And they just put an airport on Mindanao. I'm sorry, not what, but they probably did Mindanao too. Panglao Island, which is next to Bohol, um, where Alona Beach and all that kind of stuff is. Really nice place. But I haven't noticed any flights going in. I'm not sure who flies in and out of there. It's supposedly an international airport, um, but I haven't noticed anybody flying in and out of there. Anybody know anything about that new airport in Panglao? So yeah, I don't know what's up with it. But yeah, this I'll be back in November, coming up a couple of months, and going to get some. Hopefully, I'll get a lot of good fishing videos out of there. That should be fun. Going on a couple of fishing trips. Caught up with my buddy Bruce, and he has found a charter captain out of Cebu to take us out fishing locally there. So that'll be fun. That'll be my first time doing that. We'll see what kind of fish are there to be caught. You know. So I bought one of those collapsible fishing rods that breaks down real small, and I'm going to carry that with me this time. Hey, Josie, good to see you too. Hey, thanks, Filipino Life. Yeah, fishing's my hobby. I love to do it. Yeah, well, I didn't get any fishing in the trip when I got married either. It's just so much to do to get ready for the wedding. Going back for a month in May. That sounds cool. Yeah, that's when I was there last May, and we went fishing out of Siargao, which was really there's some usually good deep sea fishing there. Um, Sailfish, marlin, and you know dorado. What I call mahi mahi. Really good eating fish. That's really yummy. I caught a lot of those a few years back, but this time we were skunked. Didn't catch a thing. Yeah, I'm going to go to Siargao. I'm also going to go right in Cebu. Bruce is, like I said, my friend Bruce has a line on a local charter captain take us out fishing, and and yeah, so we're going to go right around Cebu, Mactan maybe. Um, There is a place in Mactan called the Maribago. Maribago has um, a place they call the Pump Boat Wharf, and I would suspect that there are some skippers that run in and out of there as well. But yeah, I'm going to be doing both Siargao and Cebu. Yeah, grilled blue marlin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like Cebu too, Ronald. It's a nice place. I really like Siargao. Siargao is real nice, but it's the province out there. I mean, it's they have the town of General Luna where all the surfers like to hang out, and the little town where the fishing takes place is called Pilar. Um, it's north of General Luna, and then I think the big port for ferries and all that kind of stuff is Dapa. So, um, but Siargao is a nice place, and Mira and I both like it there, so it's a lot of fun. So we'll see. Yeah, CDO. I haven't. I've never been there, but I hear good things of it. Um, Surigao as well, which is another city on the northern part of Mindanao. Never been there either. Yeah, yeah. I don't know much about it. So our Mindanao journey says is asking about vaping, which is what I do. I switched to vaping. Oh, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. And there's a lot being made out of it, but I understand that um, the young kids have been they've been vaping not just the normal vape like what I there have been stuff that they put drugs in and like some derivative of marijuana and all kinds of stuff like that. So um, so my thought is that it's much more pleasant than smoking cigarettes, but it's still probably not very good for me because anytime you're sucking something into your lungs and blowing it back out, there's got to be some residual uh, stuff. Hey, Troy, hello to you. Dear. So yeah, I find it to be a better alternative than to smoking. Than but probably not the best thing. I probably should just quit everything, but yeah, black market. That's what I figure also. So yeah, Yeah, it probably would be best to quit, but um, a bit skirt. Um, it probably would be better, but probably I'm not. I doubt that I'll be quitting anytime soon. Yeah, it's not. It's not a. I mean, it's an addiction, right? I mean, you're addicted to the nicotine. That's why you do it. Although, I mean, I've ran into some people that are vaping stuff that has no nicotine in it at all. So I'm not sure why they do it. Also, the young ones like to have those vapes that they blow huge clouds of smoke and everything, and they're really into doing all that. I'm not. For me, it's not that at all. It's just pretty much cigarette replacement. Just a replacement for cigarettes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, in Cebu, I know they've cracked down a lot on smoking, especially in public places, um, like in the malls and everything. They were pretty strict about it. They make you go to a smoking area, like in Ayala Mall. You have to go all the way up on the top and all the way in the back, and there's a little smoking area back there that you have to go to. So, and they apply that to vaping too, not just cigarettes. Mhm. So you guys that are OFWs in Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, what airline do you fly on to go to and from the Philippines? Probably Emirates airline. I don't know who flies in. Yeah, so Troy asked about the CR1 visa, friend that got married in the Philippines. Um, so um, I think, well, anyway, um, he's married in the Philippines. So if he went to go get a Cenomar, it would show that he's married. What he could do, though, if he was divorced in the USA, I think, and I don't know because I've never done it, but I think you can register the divorce papers with the agency that does the Cenomar, and that way it'll show up that he's divorced. Um, I think it's PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority. I can't remember for sure. Maybe somebody else will know. But yeah, so he was married in the Philippines, and then he brought his wife to the USA on a CR1 visa, but then got divorced. So if he hasn't registered the divorce with the PSA in Philippines, then he can't get a Cenomar to say that he's not married. So he wouldn't be able to marry again. But I believe you can. There's a way that you can register that with the Philippines government. But I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know what the deal is on that. All right, I'm into now, Journey. Have a wonderful breakfast. Yeah, from what I understand, that's the deal. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the process is in the Philippines. And my situation was different because my wife passed away. So um, I'm in a different situation. But so I made a coffee this morning, and it's pretty strong. So you're welcome, Troy. And thank you, everybody else, for chiming in. All right, guys. Well, I've been at this for about a half an hour now. And like I said, it's a beautiful day this morning in Maryland. And so I'm going to wrap this up, sign off. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by and having a chat. I appreciate it. God bless you all. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.